Hello, I'm Catherine Cooney. I'd like to talk to you about my role in quality assurance and enhancement. I work as a visiting lecturer in Hertfordshire Business School at the University of Hertfordshire. I teach across a number of different modules at levels 4, 5 and 6. In terms of my role in quality assurance and enhancement, I'd like to focus on my role as visiting lecturer on the Human Resources Management for the Tourism and Events Industry module. This module is academic level 4, it bears 15 credits and it runs in semester B. The module leader for this is Celeste Jones, who's head of subject group for tourism, hospitality and event management. The module was brand new for last semester and Celeste and I worked together on developing it. I teach on a similar level 5 module for business study students called Managing People. When we were designing the new module, we were able to use the Managing People module for benchmarking for academic standards. We compared the two modules in some detail, obviously allowing for the fact that ours was level 4 and the other one was level 5. We looked at other level 4 modules across the business school, in particular in terms of assessment. This benchmarking exercise gave us a good self-approved sense of where quality lies across the subject and across the level. Academic standards are key to quality in higher education. Coates 2010 stated that the concept of academic standards lies at the heart of higher education quality. The meaning of academic quality in higher education is an important factor which was explored during the 1990s. A huge body of work was produced as a result of that, which was reviewed by Harvey and Williams in 2010. In it, Harvey says that quality in educational programs has been variously conceptualised as meeting specific standards, being fit for purpose or as transformative. Tam in 2001 observed that quality is a highly contested concept and has multiple meanings linked to how higher education is perceived. Harker, 1995, argues that external quality assurance processes for higher education grew in the 1990s as universities were stripped of their traditional autonomy and demands for quality increased. In addition to external quality assurance processes, there are also internal quality assurance processes. Coates in 2007 produced a useful framework for academic quality indicators for higher education learners, teachers and institutions. Having introduced my role and taken a brief look at what is meant by quality in the context of higher education, I will take next a look at my personal contribution to quality assurance. That is, how I check that I'm delivering quality. Is what I'm doing working? And my contribution to quality enhancement. How do I strive to do better? As a visiting lecturer, my direct personal input in quality assurance initially appeared quite limited. I felt I could only really have influence in the classroom in checking what I'm doing is working, at the time I'm teaching, through my marking and through my engagement with students. In my classroom, I often undertake informal assessment of student learning to check whether my previous week's teaching has been effective. So whether my teaching was of sufficient quality to maximise the learning opportunity. I try to link and signpost from week to week so that I can check my learning check the students' learning by asking questions, maybe running a quiz at the beginning to see what they have learned. I also gauge student engagement in class from week to week, ranging from taking a register to check that the number of students that turn up is consistent, seeing if they've done their preparatory work and their reading, seeing how keen they are to engage in group activities and discussions. The more engaged the students appear, the more effective I would consider my teaching, which will enhance the student experience. I also use grade distributions as a quality assurance check. I'd expect to see patterns in grades and marking, both for individual students and across the board. If that doesn't happen, that will raise a flag and mean that there's something there that I need to investigate. In terms of equality and diversity, I try to embed equality and diversity matters throughout my practice, always ensuring an inclusive approach according to the ethos of the QAA code, which is something I'll discuss further on. In terms of quality enhancement, in tandem with the in-class quality assurance checks I've talked about, I would reflect upon what seems to be working and what doesn't seem to be working. I would look to introduce changes where things don't seem to be working as well as I'd hoped. The cycle would then begin again with informal assessment of the new practices designed to obtain evidence about how well they're working or not working. Using that cycle enables me to engage in active quality assurance and enhancement on an ongoing basis. A further personal contribution towards quality enhancement in my teaching and in my students' learning is my continual talking to my students about what and how we're learning in the classroom. I take every appropriate available opportunity for discussion and feedback and chat to my students during class, during contact time and one-to-one sessions, asking them what they enjoy, what they feel has worked well, where they felt the greatest achievements and benefits. In terms of enhancements to delivery of material and learning activities, I feel my students are my most valuable tool. My attitude here is in line with QAA approach to student engagement, which states, "We believe that an important feature of UK higher education is that students are active participants in their own education and therefore can and should be directly involved in the higher education sector's approach to quality assurance and enhancement." In broader university terms, this is supported by the student rep system and the key role of the student union, including the presence of student union sabbatical reps on university committees and the Board of Governors. I would consider my CPAD studies as influential in my personal contribution to quality enhancement. I'm continuing to learn and develop as a teacher and as a learner myself so that I'm able to deliver a higher quality and better informed service to my learners. This also applies to my networking with colleagues from across the business school, attending meetings, conferences, observing fellow teachers in the classroom, and receiving coaching myself on things such as marking, all of which will enhance the quality of my practice. Now that the first semester running the module's finished, I'll be keen to take part in a review of the module, which will focus on developing it for next year in terms of the quality of the learning opportunities offered by the teaching, the content, student engagement and assessment and feedback results. We'll take into account information from many sources, including student feedback via MFQs, and we'll look at enhancement on that basis. Having discussed my personal contribution to quality assurance and enhancement, I'd like to now look briefly at how that fits into the broader picture. That is, how my role is complemented by other roles within the university. I'll look at both the internal and external factors that influence quality assurance and enhancement in my practice at Hertfordshire Business School. In my role as visiting lecturer at Hertfordshire Business School, I'm surrounded by a framework of people in roles who contribute to quality assurance. Firstly, there's my module, programme and group leader, Celeste Jones, who teaches on the module. She regularly discusses progress with me, reviews module content, talks to students, marks assignments and analyses results. Her manager is Department Head Andrew Francis. Then there's the Dean of Hertfordshire Business School, Professor Damien Ward. To the sides of the vertical hierarchy are the Associate Dean Academic Quality, Denise Bell, and the Associate Dean Learning and Teaching, Karen Robbins. The Case Centre in the Business School exists as a facility to assist students, but also staff with quality in academic skills, and I've personally found that useful. Working alongside me, the remainder of the staff team, tutors, etc. in the tourism and events group. The student rep and student feedback from the module is obviously useful, along with our module internal moderators. My VL boss, Leslie Glass, Head of VL Development, with whom I have regular learning conversations and discuss development opportunities. She also has observed a teaching session with feedback to ensure quality. I also attend business school group meetings and conferences and VL conferences to ensure a broader knowledge of the academic context, awareness of current issues and best practice. Many of these have actually addressed quality issues, including this week's HBS conference where the TEF results were released and discussed hot off the press that morning. Other people and agencies involved in quality assurance: the government, Higher Education Funding Council for England, Quality Assurance Agency and the Higher Education Academy. I'll look at the contribution of these in the discussion about processes. I'll also look at the contribution of people. There are multiple quality assurance and enhancement mechanisms and processes across the university which influence my practice. These include at programme level, validation, periodic review process, annual monitoring, programme committees, external examiners and the National Student Survey. At module level, initial approval of the module, module feedback evaluation reports, module feedback questionnaires, module grade profiles and external examiners. And then at staff level, professional academic development programme, student feedback questionnaires and teaching observation and staff appraisal. In addition is the influence of professional and regulatory statutory bodies which have various roles from review to accreditation. There are multiple professional standards agencies across the university and many of them in the business school. In my area of teaching that I'm discussing here, the professional body involved is the Institute of Tourism Management. This involvement adds perceived quality assurance as it offers the seal of approval for courses. It enhances employability, attracts high quality candidates. In some areas it can offer exemption towards chartered or professional status. However, it does bring challenges including increased admin and it reduces flexibility of the individual modules and courses. Two particularly influential external mechanisms which affect my practice and academic and professional practice within the university as a whole are the UK Quality Code for Higher Education and the Teaching Excellence Framework. Looking first at the UK Quality Code for Higher Education, the university and its programmes are subject to the external scrutiny by the QAA. The QAA are the body responsible for overseeing the quality of all higher education provision in the United Kingdom. That's the Quality Assurance Agency. The UK Quality Code for Higher Education, known as the Quality Code, sets out the expectations that all providers of higher education are required to meet. It's split into three parts. Part A addresses setting and maintaining academic standards. Part B is about ensuring and enhancing academic quality. And Part C is information about higher education provision. Sections B3, B4, B5 and B6 are particularly useful to me as they inform me of the quality indicators for learning and teaching and assessment, which are activities central to my role. The Teaching Excellence Framework is how the sector judges quality. It's a national initiative that's been introduced by the government to recognise and reward excellence in higher education. The first set of TEF ratings were announced this week, and UOH was awarded a silver rating and was commended for providing a high level of support and consistently outstanding outcomes for students from all backgrounds. The Student Union highlighted factors considered for the award, including excellent employment prospects, support offered by tutors, and the high number of professionally accredited courses. As a university, we're aware that our assessment and feedback scores will be preventing attainment of Gold Award. These areas are acknowledged as a problem across the sector, but particularly at our university. Work continues to improve in these areas, and it's something I focus strongly on in my role. Clearly, some progress is being made, as our latest NSS survey results show that student satisfaction with assessment and feedback from tutors has significantly improved over the past 3 years. The TEF results show that Harvey and Williams, 2010, conclude from their review that it is still not clear that even after 15 years, quality assurance systems have really enhanced higher education. However, it is clear that despite any doubts about quality assurance and enhancement framework, measures and initiatives are widespread across higher education institutions at all levels, and that the effort and emphasis on improving quality in higher education is evident. I'll continue to make my contribution to this, and I hope to find more ways of doing this during the next academic year as I increase my experience and hope to be able to take on a module leader role.